Okay, there we go. All right, where is this? Going to test on multiple platforms here because we have a new setup. And right now, one is showing offline, oddly enough. Interesting. All right, here we go. It should be operational now. Hopefully it doesn't die on me. Indeed. All right, audio is working there, and audio is working over here. I think it is. Okay. Closing out of that. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't mean to close out of that. Bring that back. Forgot I have to test because last time it glitched on me a bit. Testing. And it works. All right. I know X is not likely going to have any sort of chatting. I have yet to actually see an X stream where people are actually dialoguing. But we're giving it a shot all the same. So, just want to make sure it was coming through. Okay, so tonight we're going to be doing something a bit different. We're going to be creating a 3D logo. And let me get this stuff squared away so we can begin that process. Now, it's a relatively simple logo. It's simple, semi-simple. Come over to font. Add this font in. Replace. There we go. Copy that. Okay, now I'm not going to be speaking a whole lot for tonight because my voice has been causing problems. So I will do some storytelling later on, but not yet. That is a... does not want to separate these, so it's crashing on me. I'm going to do this a little bit slower now. Save that. There was a recent update, so I think that was what's going on. Greetings, Sir Bastion. How you doing? How go your classes? Like it's making you listen to K-pop. Uh-huh. Well, now that's that is most unfortunate. That can be a nightmare. Golly. Let's see here. Trying to turn this object into a lightning bolt. And I have a technique that I wanted to try and do, but right now it's kind of glitching on me. Doing good with classes? Excellent. I'm so glad I don't have to do classwork. But it doesn't mean I don't stop learning. Oh, wait a minute. Oh-ho. Here's the tool that I'm looking for. Oh, dagnabbit. It's going to have to be geometry nodes. I did not want that to be the case. Geometry nodes new. Lightning. Now, technically, this will be probably better long term. Well, folks, right now we're on our into our second week of streaming on X instead of Twitch, and I gotta say, it's been I'm not a fan of X, but I'm gonna make it do for the time being. But gotta say, I gotta try and figure something else out though, because I'm not a fan of X. X has so many problems for the streaming side of things. All right, so what is the feature here that we're trying to get? We want to be line, let's see, resample curve, noise texture to set position. Resample curve to mesh to curve. Move this before the skin, get rid of the displacement, and oh wait, we don't want the skin after all. We want golly, what is the what's the option here? It's curve circle. This goes into the curve to mesh. That's right. It's been a while since I've done this. There we go. Now at least that's visible. So we'll make this process a little bit easier. So now we want to displace this. This has been not the most productive week for me. And I expect things will get a little bit busier as we come to the end, as we move through this week. First thing is that I got done Pharaoh and the Smith, but there's a bit of a problem, and I'm trying to get that resolved. And right now I'm thinking I'll have it done within a day or two. 2 days. No, not 2 days. 3 days. Not 3 days. I'll have it done on Saturday because I can't get to it till Saturday. So even though the story exists on the web, it's not very well stuck together, and so I gotta go back and fix that. It's something that can get a little frustrating is that the number of times I have to go back and redo something on the website can get really obnoxious, but I'd rather fight with it than have to rely upon another source to try and get that stuff done. All right, so we want to take this noise and move this into the offset of what? Oh, set position. That's it. Offset. There we go. Interesting. Map range. Scale. We want math. Vector math. Map range. And we want... no, not that. We want scale. Scale. There we go. And from there, we want to do what? Because it's offsetting, which is not what it's supposed to do. I think it has to do with this map range. Aha, that is correct. Okay, -1. That should have been pretty obvious. Can I subdivide in here? Subdivide mesh. Interesting. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I messed up something. Oh, resample curve, that's it. Dagnabbit. Okay, so we want value. Right, insert in 30. There we go. That looks much better. But it's going in a weird direction. It's all sloped in the same direction. Clamp vector offset. Oh, color. There we go. Why would color be the one that I want to go with? Oh, because it's an RGB. That might be it. Don't know that for certain, but 5 and reduce the radius. Aha. Much better. Now, let's see if we can do this without any audio distortion. Well, now, what happened there? Did they move it? Where did Bloom go? Oh, interesting. So it did get relocated. Wait a second. Where did Bloom go? Well now. Flare. Ow. Ho ho! Look at that. Okay, that works. Oh, nope, nope, nope. Didn't mean for that to happen. Okay, what happened here? Okay, so we got back to here. Isolate that. And now let's try this again. We want the compositor. And we want this from streaks to bloom. Compositor always. Oh ho! Oh ho! That is pretty nice. Wow! I didn't know you could put the compositor in like this. Okay, now let's continue on with this tutorial here. What happens if we wait a minute. Let's get another object in here, an empty cube. Call this lightning move. Location into vector. Nope. We want math, vector math. Plug it into here. So now, when we move this, it does nothing. Object. Oh, that's it. I forgot to lightning move. Okay. Now it's something. We want this to go instead into the here. No, we want, like, what is it? Vector, let's grab this, plug it into here. If we move this, it does that, but it doesn't really do anything of, it doesn't really make sense why it's doing that. Man, allergies are killing me. Greetings there, Jess Ek13. How's it going? I'm in the process of trying to make a 3D lightning right now. But I'm not really sure as to why it's not wanting to have proper transformation here. What is going wrong here? I need it to change based upon the position of this. Ah, Jersey, I was wondering. It's you, Jersey, as Jessic. Jersey or Jesse. Ah, I see. How's it going, Jersey? What have you been up to? I made the mistake of assuming who someone was a while back, and it was embarrassing. So I've tried not to make that assumption when I see people jump between platforms, because I made that decision about somebody, and I was, they got heated when I called them by the wrong name. It was a new one. I did not expect people to get that bent out of shape, but it happens. Other programs used to have like a tool called Evolve and that, or Time, and they would solve this, but this is a much different sort of system. What if we just do this? And then move. Okay. Plug in location into here. Nothing. But it still does this. Not much. Yeah. Understand. It's been not much for me over here as well. Which, correction, I take that back. Not much in terms of project-wise, but we did have a lot of excitement over this last weekend because I officially became an uncle. So that was what my last few days have been taken up with, is getting a chance to spend time with relatives and get a chance to be of assistance as needed. All right. I shared my art for the first time on social media and got pretty positive feedback. Hey, very nice. That one of the things to remember is that sharing stuff on social media, it used to be a lot more difficult. It's gotten a lot easier, thankfully. But occasionally you'll get the one person who just is bent out of shape, and they get very frustrated with you, and you're like, why? What is the big problem? And it's kind of hard to tell, honestly. There's some people who they see your stuff and they just think it's the worst stuff in the world. And like, why? What is the big problem? And it turns out they're just, they're kind of like trolls. They want to cause problems for the sake of problems. So, thankfully, people though are starting to change, and they're getting better at that, at not allowing people like that to kind of harass folks. Because you only have like one of them. If you can withstand getting harassed by one person, everyone else is going to be super nice. But feel free... Uh-oh, wrong button. Feel free to share your social account. I think you should be able to share that directly, but if not, you can always share it in the Discord, and I can be able to do a follow-up with it. I've not set things up on YouTube very well. One of the things I really don't like is that I can't use the emotes over on YouTube. I got emotes still on the... Wait a minute, I don't think I have emotes over here. Nope, I haven't put the emotes on Rumble. So I don't even have it over there. But I'm not allowed to put emotes into YouTube until I'm at 1,000 followers. Good luck at that happening at this rate. Someone mentioned like 2 years ago, they said, oh, you'll get to 1,000 in no time. Lies. It's kind of funny how that happened. How it, like, nothing happened. So they say I have to use a sign. Interesting. Random value, put that to 5. Add. Oh, interesting. Well, that's electric, all right. Somehow I don't think that that's kind of what I want, though. I want to be going all over the place, not just along that direct path. So let's put it back here. And let's add to this. Oh, wrong one. I do want that one. Grab that, put it over here. I guess my plan for now is to make some game/movie related art and share it on genre-dedicated Reddits, as it's the best way to get to the fans, because I only got like 10 to 20 likes and stuff from normal social media like Tumblr, and 5,000 views and 240. What the hell? Oh my goodness. Wow, that's a lot. That is, wow, that is huge, Jesse. Sorry, Jesse. The most I've ever gotten is probably a couple dozen. And I've been doing this for years, so well done. And glad you've had that success. All right, I want to add to this. Let's see here. Just softened out Jersey. Indeed, indeed. Okay, so what I want to do now goodness. It's not quite what I wanted there. Let me go back to the tutorial here, see what I'm messing up here. Okay, so he got it to move. But what? What was this thing? Noise scaling? Okay, so that's what he did there. Noise. Oh, wait. 4D. Ah, that's it. Ah, golly, I knew it was something here. W is... That's what it is. That's the evolution. Now looks a wriggling worm. Oh, no. Hey, no, actually it looks pretty decent. Not bad at all. Well, okay. Check something here. Okay, so now I can come back here. Let's hide this. Let's come over to Livewire. And we're going to now add in geometry nodes. And we're going to use the lightning. We're going to duplicate this and put this to curve. And what that means is that we're just going to bring it in and we're going to have it go curve to mesh and then mesh to curve. I think that should work. No? Huh. All transforms. Okay. All scale. Scale, put it to 1. Oh, most interesting. Oh my. You know, there was when I was just getting started with social media, I put out probably about 10, what was it? I did 10 posts before I really got any sort of interaction whatsoever. I was posting on forums, and I went onto a website, and I posted onto there, and I actually got 2 likes. I remember getting so excited about it. It's like, yes, somebody actually noticed it. And it actually got me a small job as well in the process. I remember, though, there was 2 pieces of artwork, though, that did really, really good. There was a fella that looked out at it and said, like, oh, I want to have something in that style. And I was like, well, trying to duplicate that's going to be really hard, but actually panned out pretty well in terms of just advertising for one's skills. Are you doing an ad for some company? It is. So this is going to be actually their logo, and it's going to be animated so they can use it during their live streams as well as a still for them to be able to use as well. So right now I just got to get the basics kind of figured out here, and then I can be able to turn it into an actual kind of template for them to utilize. Like this. It should not be doing that. Why is it doing that? Mesh to curve. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, maybe that's it. Okay, that's closer. Oh, want to be able to get rid of the caps. Where's the cap? How do we remove that? Blender. Remove curve fill. I don't want to delete the curve. I want to delete the fill. Okay. Let's try here. Nope, that's not it. What if we just hide this? What is the deadline for such projects? This one is going to be a lot shorter because it's a relatively simple project. For this one in particular, it's probably going to take about 5-7 hours. There's a chance it will go faster. Right now, I have like bits of projects that will go really fast, others that go incredibly slow. I have no prediction that I can be able to follow on how these things turn out. Some days it is super easy, and other days it feels like I'm pulling teeth. Oh, here we go, fill. That's it. Like that. I spent extra time trying to find the fill, and it was right there, copy to selected. So now if I bring that back, hopefully it will now operate as, there we go. Okay, that's much better. So yeah, I'll have moments like that where I'm trying to figure it out. I fight with it. Sometimes it's super easy, sometimes it's super hard. Right. Notice how that functions now. Bring that back as lightning. Let's make it smaller. So there we go. So now this becomes a template I can work with. I can copy this now over to the other letters a lot easier. That's why I don't have the ability to give good solid quotes for projects. Some people I charge $50, and it takes me about $200 or $300 worth of labor to actually do. Other times I charge $200, and it took me about $50 worth of labor. It's really hard to tell. And recently I've started to take that, oh, well, I'll just lowball everything because I'm doing it for the fun of it. If I was trying to do it for like professional stuff, I'd be trying to get like everything calculated out to the last little bit there. But now I've always been lowballing it just because I know that I get a chance to live stream it. I get a chance to use it in social media posts. Not like it gets me anywhere close to your views, but it gives me enough to usually get another commission. And that's enough for me. All right, so now what we're going to do here, we now have this system figured out. Let's increase this actually before we move on to the next step. 200. There we go. We're going to grab all of this and we're going to group it. So now I have this item right here. Wait a minute. No, that's right. That's right. Join geometry. Put that here. Duplicate this. Come in here. We want to have some randomization for this. We want to have scale. We want to have what else here? Oh yeah, this scale. We're going to change this so that way this one is marked as noise scale. Amplitude, I think that's what I'm looking for. And what is the other one? Roughness. Maybe roughness will help. No, detail. There we go. Noise, detail. come back here, and now each of these have this. I can now channel into here and join it into the geometry. And we want to have some noise increase and some more of this, more amplitude. And now we got, we got two running back to back. And now it adds to the electric look. Oh, that's going to turn out well. I like that. But now we need some more detail. What is the thing I'm looking for, though? It is going to be distortion? Yeah, there we go. Distortion. Okay. So we want distortion to come out here. This one, higher distortion. All right, let's copy that over to these ones right here. Copy to selected. Now I can be able to tweak one, and all of them can get that benefit. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this over here. But I'm going to change the color. Copy to selected. But these ones are going to get a different copy. It's going to be color 2. Copy to selected. Uh-oh. Just froze. That's what happened. All right, so now the color over here gets changed. And I'm going to want lightning move. No, we want this one right here. Okay, duplicate this. Lightning color 2. And we don't know what the final color is going to be, so that way I'm just going to do red for right now, and then we'll figure it out when the client gets back to me on that matter. Oh, that's the wrong one. No, we want it right here. Here we go. Color 2, red. Oh, nice. I got some commission requests after posting from last Rainy Art, but I'm too anxious to even try to take them. I need some time to get more comfortable with the whole making and sharing process first. What's the plan with a W in the middle? So the W is going to get a different sort of effect. It's going to be the same, but it's going to be with a bit more control over it. So I got to be a bit more careful with that one. Be careful about who you do commissions for. Man, I'm surprised. Wow, you are moving fast. It took me months upon months to get to that point. And I was like sharing art left and right, and I couldn't get a commission to save my life. But you're going to find a couple of hurdles. And one of those things is you got to make sure that you don't get taken advantage of by NFT scammers. You're going to get some people that will reach out to you for that, and do not trust them. They are trying to rob you. Someone tried to do that to me. They offered $6,000 for a drawing, and I looked into them, and nope, there was some sketchiness behind them. And I found out that there is a lot of problems you have to look out for in that. Do small commissions, and that way it gives you a chance to learn without the pressure of having to get it perfect. Might be worth it. You should always be willing to experiment and grow. That's one thing that I will say. Experiment, take on the bigger projects every now and again. See what it's like. Take on small projects that you're like, hey, this isn't very beneficial to me. Do it because you want to learn from it. And you will find a lot more success doing that. Okay, you know, I want to drive this animation with a key. Here we go. Value. Plug that into there. There we go. I want this to be slower and have more control over it. So we're going to come in here, keyframe that, come to the end, set it to 5, and keyframe that. Yeah, that's way too fast. But now, I have the ability to correct that. Let's change that to 1. See what that is like. Okay, that's a little too slow, but you know what? Actually, you know, I think we'll go with that. To be honest, it's so much fun to make that I would even make it for free. Okay, now that is also a good way to go about it. I did a lot of artwork doing that. A whole lot. And it actually taught me a ton. So it's never wasted. Yeah, give it a try. The worst thing you can do is to learn that you need to improve. It's not bad. And you only learn if you need to improve based upon what people's feedback has been. So, yeah, give it a shot. I know some people that are too scared to do any project. Too scared to do any projects whatsoever. That can be overwhelming and problematic. Okay, wait a minute. This is the problem here. All right, we want to group that. Here we go. We want to change this to key. Let's see, lightning animation. Here we go. Now we can copy this. There we go. Copy that, come over here, and paste. Now that way it is keyframed between the two of them. But give it a shot all the same. Learn the process. Right now you don't know what to charge for it. Neither did I. I just started doing it. And I did a lot of them, a whole lot of them for free. I got an entire gallery of stuff I did for free. And you know what? You can share it on social media like that pretty easily. When you do it for a commission, it's a lot harder to kind of, well, to share it, because then people can sometimes get upset. They're like, hey, wait a minute, I paid to have you make it for me, not for you to share it on social media. And some people can get a little irritated with that. Don't be concerned about it, though. Still give it a shot. What is going on with this? These are the same settings. But the E is showing up. Oh, wait, no, it's not completely. 0.5. There we go. Perfect. Save that. To be honest, $20 is big money in my country, not to mention 100. The most I have been paid in a commission was $400, and I failed. And I had to do it for free. The best one I actually got paid for was $250. You do grow a lot, though, when you do that. By all means, if you think it could be fun to do, Do it. Gives you a chance to learn and grow. Believe me, I wish I had done that when I was younger, or wish I had that opportunity. I did not. You do have that opportunity, so be sure to give it a shot. Even if you're not completely comfortable with it, you will learn and you will get better at it. We want another control here. Radius. Right now it's 0.2. 0.2, 0.2, and now we're going to change this to divided by 2. Make that one half. No, make it even smaller. Divided by 2. That way we have multiple different resolutions here. Different scales. And the smaller one, we have the ability to maybe amplify up a bit. Oh no, increase the noise and reduce the amplitude. Let me pull up my reference again. Double check that I'm on the right path with this. So this is the style that I'm supposed to gun for. So far, it's pretty close. That's very close. The colors are a bit different, but in terms of electricity, the electricity is almost exactly what it should be, but I need to make like a stronger core to it. So I think what I'll do is I will make this main one 0.01. Nope, 0.1. And we're going to increase the radius of this one. 0.003. There we go. Now it branches off of it. And we need to slow this thing down. 0.25. Let's really slow it down. Yeah, that's interesting. There's some benefits in living in poor parts of the world. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, black background would change a lot. Yep, the background is going to be turned to black here in the end, like that. So yeah, it's going to be... Already, this is looking a lot better than I was kind of thinking it was going to be. The geometry nodes have saved a lot of extra time. You know, I kind of want to group this together. Okay, actually, let us put that together. Let's go to here, grab this, and group it. Come on, go up. Why can't I go up? There we go. We call this lightning effect. Copy that. Come over here. That way I don't have to duplicate this over and over again. Delete. Bingo. Oh, perfect. You know, that's one thing I hate about a lot of the... That's one thing I hate about the web. Over here in my country, it is really hard to make a living doing art. And it is very, very difficult to try and get noticed. You are competing against so much, and your rent and cost of living is so high, where you're like, you have to make a fair amount of cash to even be able to live as a poor man. It's ridiculous. Tens of thousands of dollars still makes you in poverty. Oh my goodness. Weird how the world functions. I wish I could be able to live somewhere that's a lot cheaper. But see, now that's the benefit you have there. You have a chance to really grow your skills and to feel free to do it. You have a lot of potential if you can do that. So I think that's a really good benefit, really good blessing. So if you have that inkling to want to give that a shot, by all means, I hope it goes really well for you. Be sure to always gauge what the projects kind of are like how much money ended up being too much, like when people said, nope, that's too much and that's enough. Like there was a time where someone asked me for emotes. I said $10 to $20 per drawing. And they said, nope, not going to touch that. And I learned the hard way. It's like, okay, you have to really lowball that. So you're going to lose some of them, but you're going to gain a lot more of them. For the amount of people that have already started reaching out to you, I don't think, it may not feel like it, but you have a great opening there. Don't miss out on that opportunity. There's a lot of people that don't get that a second time. Now, don't get yourself locked in. And by all means, please, remember this one thing. Be very skeptical about the people asking you for commissions. Be very, very, very skeptical. Now, this is the one thing I will say that has gotten me, that has lost me a whole lot of commissions, but is going to preserve you for the commissions that matter. I can't show the profile. That's how edgy it is. But there was an artist that I used to follow. She was very good at the drawings that she did. One day, somebody reached out to her and said, hey, I got a drawing I would like you to make. It's not quite the type that you're used to. And she ended up drawing it and made more money than she'd ever made before. What she did was artwork that was not safe for work. Suddenly, she had a new business. She started making a fortune doing that stuff. And you know what was interesting? Because around that time when I found out what she was doing, I just unfollowed. She created a brand new profile and started making sure that there was a separation between the stuff that was not safe for work and the stuff that were safe. She was still doing like wonderful drawings on her own time, but then she always had this dark side to her. Well, one day, I thought, I wonder what she's still doing for her artwork. So I went back to her page, and she gave a very sad lament. She said, back when I first got started, I didn't realize what this was going to cost me. All she did was pencil drawings. And her pencil drawings caused her to miss out on the big commissions. The ones that actually would have given her like career opportunities. But when people found out the other stuff she made, they avoided her. She could never get rid of that. She had been branded. And so thus she was being asked to make more and more inappropriate stuff, to the point of where she started getting very uncomfortable. All this was conveyed in a post where she said, basically, I'm done. I'm not doing any more of this. I'm not doing art. I'm not doing the other inappropriate stuff. I just quit. I can't take it anymore. You know, if she just stayed doing the stuff that she had been successful at to begin with, she never would have gotten to that compromising point. Why do I mention this? Because someone came along and started offering me thousands of dollars to do the same. I did not do that. And it's interesting. I've had more opportunities as a result. And you know what? I also have a cleaner conscience. That's the one big warning I will give you. Because there's a lot of people that will eventually reach out and try and get you involved. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually they will try. So if you can withstand that and stay on things that are more honorable, you will thrive in a way that will make people that compromise jealous. Alright, now we have different speeds for the electricity. A little hard to see when it's playing like this. So I'll have to test it when it's all said and done, when I go offline later on. But now, it's time to move on to the next part, the W. Now this one's going to be a lot harder. Maybe not actually. Let's pull up that W. And now we're going to copy this to selected. And we're going to make this into its own design. Now it has to be, let's see here. It has to morph into the red. And I don't know how to do that. Actually, I do know how to do that. Okay, we're going to duplicate this. And now we're going to change this to curve color 2. And now, let's see here. We want to trim this. I'm not this desperate for money, so it's just a hobby, not a job for me. That's a good way to view it. Honestly, it really is. You'll have more fun doing that. All right. Blender, trim, curve. Oh, wait a minute. That's it. Trim. Start end mapping. Okay, so... wait a second. No, that's not it. Hat taper? What is it I'm looking for? Trim curve node. Aha. Alright, so we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to call this W. Trim curve. Haha. Okay, so now we're going to come in and do it here. Let's see what happens. Perfect. Okay. Bring that back. Oh, that's looking nice. But now, how do I taper that? Actually, I don't think I'd want to taper that. Not like legitimately. I think I want to have it with an overlap to about here. And then right here, I'm going to duplicate this and have this color 1W. Copy and nope. Copy. There we go. There we go. Now we got the purple area there. Wait, let's actually shoot that to right there. And we'll fade it out behind the letters. Okay. Behind the I for this side, and then behind the E for the other side. Okay, now that's interesting. I wouldn't mind getting paid. Write down your ground rules, and that way when you get commissions, you'll feel more comfortable doing it. A lot of people will also not pay you, and so just be forewarned. Start off by doing just free stuff. Say, I'm not doing commissions yet, but I will do some things for free. And that way, you'll build up a rapport. People get to know who you are. They'll start to say, yeah, sure, I'd like to commission you for this or for that. There's, let me show you a commission I got a while back. So this one, I actually got paid a substantial amount for. It was for this, right here. A 3D construction of a hotel, and trying to get some illustrations of what it could look like. And it went fairly well, honestly. It turned out almost exactly what the person who commissioned it wanted it to be. Could it be better? Yeah. I can do this a lot faster and a lot better now. But I learned by doing this. It was a commission. My feet were to the fire to try and get this done. I leaned in hard to try and get it completed. And now I have a whole new set of skills because of it. Now I can do this with a lot more comfort. I was fighting with geometry nodes for that one. I did not do so well with it. It was a difficult one. Okay, let's see here. Add quick favorites, save, subdivide. Oh, select this side too. Subdivide, subdivide, and subdivide. Control points, let us curve, mesh, transform, randomize. Oh, now that's interesting. I wonder if I can actually do that with geometry nodes here. Active spline, how do I do this here? I want to map that, but I don't see, this isn't vect. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is a curve. Would I turn this into a mesh? It's kind of weird to see solar panels inset with that kind of angle, but I guess it's an Alaskan thing. Yes, we are very high up in terms of latitude, and so they needed the angle actually because during winter the sun is really low on the horizon, at least further up the state, which is where that thing was located. It was going to be up in, I think, Nome, something like that. But yeah, it was going to be a challenge to try and put solar panels on. I don't know if they went through with it. There was a lot of hurdles they were going to have to overcome, and but the commission went well. Solar panels, though, there's so much of the season. The time that you need the solar panels is when it's dark. So it's a bit of a challenge. There we go. Yeah, we're going to be doing the same sort of thing from earlier. Vector math. And we're going to have to do this the same way as before. We're going to... Nope, that's not it. It's actually a... Vector... Oh, what is it? Got to come back over here. And we'll just copy it. Map range. That was it. So that's pretty extreme there. 4D and 0.1. Yeah, let's isolate that. It's too hard to see. Scale? What is the scale at? No, scale's correct. 10, 20, I don't know. Oh yeah, for the degrees. I've heard some mixed reviews on solar panels. There's some people they swear that it is working, and others they're like, nah, it's not. One thing I can definitely say is that wind power up in Alaska is near impossible. It gets too icy. So if you have a wind turbine, you get ice building up, and so suddenly the motor will either burn out or the blades will crack and they'll go flying. There's been a couple of times where I've heard about them not doing so well. We have a couple of experimental ones up here. It's not going well. We need geothermal up here in Alaska, but it's really hard to be able to pipe it around where we need it. I need to be able to subdivide this beforehand. Or what else do I have to do here? Vector scale, that's it. I keep forgetting this stuff. I should just copy the whole thing over, but... Alright, scale. There we go. So now let's try and exclude the W part. Maybe this isn't possible here. Let's see here. Blender curve set X value. Okay, it doesn't look like this exists. What if I was to duplicate this and get rid of the modifier just for the time being? Convert to mesh. Vertex group. Motion. And we're going to grab these ones here to there. We're going to... That's actually a lot of vertex there. I'm actually going to take that and reduce that. Subdivide, 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 and subdivide again. There we go. That's a bit more manageable. Grab that and assign. Same thing over here. Grab all that. Reduce. Subdivide, 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 subdivide. Grab that and assign. So now we want curve 1W. Nope, sorry. Geometry nodes, curve 1W. Hey, it works. Okay, so that went a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Mesh to curve. Now what about vertex? What is this? Attributes. Capture attribute. Oh, wait a minute, that's it. We'll pipe it into the scale. Now, if we come over here, scale, we can set this to motion. Come over here, motion. We want to select. Oh, so it wasn't assigned. Interesting. Grab that and assign. There we go. Okay, perfect. So now, should be able to vertex paint. Wait, paint. Should be able to blur it. Yes? No? No. Okay, let's try and paint it. Nope. Looks like we're just going to have to edit this. Limited dissolve. Back to here for the time being. Subdivide, subdivide, subdivide. Okay, so now we're going to reduce this to 0.9, assign, reduce this to 0.7, assign, reduce this to 0.5, assign, 0.3, assign, and 0, assign. Math. Multiply. Alright, we want to animate this along with that, so we got to bring in the group from earlier. Lightning animation. Pipe that into W. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, let us select. Right, so that's there. Assign that. Assign. Assign. Oh ho! It's getting way out of control there. Assign. Now this one is going to be, all these right here are going to be 0.5. Hey, hey, hey. All right. So now if we bring that back to the rest of them here, oh, let's hide these ones right here. No longer need these ones. And we're actually going to be able to taper this out a little bit better as well, I think. Put this into hide. So let's come over to curve and reduce that to there. Duplicate this. Come over here and we are going to change this to W. Wait. No, we want, no, we don't want that. We want this. We want to duplicate this, and we're going to call this 2.1. Because this one's going to be given a bit of an update in how this is done. Come over here, extend that out, bring that on back to right about there. And now, we got live wired. Still got problems here. Let's increase this one to 0.3 assign. And over here, we don't have to worry about that one. So there. I wonder what they're going to think about this one. Now, the blue kind of needs to be in the middle, though. Now, that's the other thing. We have to change. Maybe. We'll see. I'm wondering if I should stick with and specialize in Splatoon art, since it's something I know well now. People seem to like it, and there is a big demand for it, apparently. Or branch out into other genres and explore new, untested communities. But I'm scared it will slow me down, as I would have to learn about anatomies, lore, and stuff. Slightly thicker with W. That's a good point. W definitely should be a bit bigger. Let's see here. What That's a good point. That's a very good point. Okay, let's type this out. Let's add in a math. Let's proceduralize this. All right, we're going to do this to divide this by 2. No. That one's going to just be piped directly like that. This one gets piped into this radius at half the resolution. And then this one's going to get piped into here at half of that resolution. And this one, same thing. So it gets cascading. That is very messy, but it gets the job done. 4 and 8. Okay, so now if we come back here, got the radius at there. Now what if we increase it? Oh, that's interesting. 0.001. That's about the same. 0.01. Huh. I think I should drive this with... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's going to work. Math. We're going to set this to... what is the number at? 0.01 divided by 10. Actually, it's... nope. Divided by 100. And then we pipe in the scale into this. And then put this into the radius. Now, what I should do, well, it's not really working, but oh, it's going the wrong way. Multiply. No, that's not the right option. I want to have a new one. We're going to call this taper. One thing I want to mention about for when you're getting your skill kind of figured out. Let me pull up, let me see if there's someone I can showcase their artwork. Let me just double check if they've been posting stuff as of late. Some things, there's some people out there, they've gotten very extreme in some of their stuff, and it's been a bit problematic, honestly, for a lot of their artwork, which is a real shame. Where is this? What is the name of the artist? I'm so used to seeing their art appear that I don't even remember what they're called. Well, let's explore instead. See what's here. All right. Well, how about we'll go with just showing what I've got here, because that one I know for a fact no one's going to have issues with. All right. I want to take a moment to show some of the artwork that I've done in the past, because I think this helps to kind of gauge where my mentality is with all of this. And you're going to define your own based upon what you experienced along the way. We're going back to the olden days when I first got started and I got my first few views. This post right here, liked by 3 people. I posted this many years ago at this point. I was just getting started. I thought, I'm just going to post something. I don't know how social media works, just post it. I posted the second one, and that got liked by 5 people. My average is very small, like I said earlier. But I started off by just doing whatever. I didn't really have any rhyme or reason to it. I was just making stuff for the sake of doing it. I was learning. I was getting better at it. And finally, I was getting to the point of where I thought, hey, I can actually do some more elaborate stuff. But you'll notice there's very little in terms of consistency. There's not a whole lot of stuff where you can say, oh, this is what Jeff's channel is about. You don't look at this stuff and say, oh, I see a trend. There is no trend. It is all over the place. Why? Because I'm somebody that is all over the place. My projects are vast. They're everywhere. My rhyme and reason is trying to come up with ideas that stand out, I think, to my own skill set. But now let's take a look at where it started becoming more standardized. That's when I started doing the commission art. Well, the freelance stuff for viewers. It was free. I did it for the fun of it. I was doing more and more sketches for people through the viewers. And it started to give me a style. Now, if I stayed doing that, I could do that for many years. It wouldn't actually help me to grow, though. It would give me the ability to refine and perfect a style, but I wouldn't get the chance to really explore and grow. You start to get repetitive. You start to become kind of a stamp machine. That's not me. Oh, that is very much not me. But if I was to do this over and over and over again, I would get really fast and really good with my art. But you know what? I don't get commissions for 2D art. I don't even get commissions really for 3D art. I get commissions for making final products. As such, it takes a lot more time, but I'm the final piece of many people's puzzle because they know I can do it all. They contact me and say, hey, we need to have, like this, we need to have an intro animation that is done where you have a newspaper and you have these scenes that you have to animate. I take that stuff and I'm like, okay, well, I need to do some extra drawings. That's my personality. Now, by contrast, there are some people out there, all they do is the exact same character. And now let me pull this off to the side, just make sure that I get the right one. Where is this guy? Oh, wait, I know how to find this. I know how to find this. Because this one, I want to say this is a sad artist. Okay, I'm going to give that warning. A bit of a sad artist because he's doing the same thing over and over and over again to the point where I think it's starting to, I think maybe they're getting irritated. Come on, where is it? Please show up. Try this. Nope. Yes, yeah, that's why I pull things off to the side here. Because I can't find it. Alright, how about this? Alright, I think this one will probably be a decent reference here. So let's say, for example, this is your artwork. You did it and people are like, oh, we want more art in this style. How many drawings do you have to do with this before you think, you know, I'm getting bored? At what point do you think, you know, I want to expand? I want to grow. I want to get better. There are many artists I know that have tens of thousands of followers. They do the exact same thing. And it's driving them crazy. They're like, but I want to do something else. And every time they try and do something else, it fails. So they have to make a whole new channel, whole new platform to do something. And they have to start from ground zero. Now for them, they're very successful all the same. But then they always are asked, can you please do this in the same style? And it drives them crazy. Now some people lean into that. They love that. I don't. If I had to do the same style over and over again, I would go crazy after the third drawing. How do I know? Because for the first time, I actually started feeling that with the Star Wars drawings. I was getting crazy with it, and I wasn't liking the style. I wanted to improve it. I wanted to do better. So when I got the chance to go back and redo some of it, I tried to increase the quality. I wanted it to stand out. I got tired of that style. I wanted to improve. It's one of the reasons why I make a terrible comic book artist. Really, it would drive me insane. Have you ever thought about specializing and sticking with Star Wars art? No one cared. So, let me show you this. In terms of the most viewed art, this got 1 like and 1 comment. This one got 1 like. This one got 3. And this one got 3. Everything I've done gets me very, very small interest. But you know what has gotten me better interest? These. These are note cards that I've been sketching on. This gets me far more views. This got me 8 likes. So, you know what? Each time I do that, this does pretty well. But you know what? I struggle with this because I can't tell really deep stories with this. I'm fine exploring. Like this one, 15. I like the chance to get to explore and come up with new ideas. Could I do really well if I went with 1? Yeah, probably. But here's the problem. I got several different stories that I'm working on. I don't know how to do it. I'm bad when it comes to social media. You're much better at social media. I'm terrible at it. I've chosen the hardest route. And for years I've been fighting with it. I'm not disappointed with it though. It's for a reason. I don't know what that reason is yet. I don't know why the things haven't taken off. But you know what? It's all going to pan out. There's people I know, they got to 200 followers overnight. This is taking me 3+ years to get to this point. But you know what? The people that like the stuff, I know they're genuine. I know them by name. I know their faces. I met many of them in person. When they like something, I get a lot more excited about it than if it's just a whole bunch of random people liking it. Whenever I see bots, I report them, which is probably part of the reason why I don't do so well. But I also don't advertise. I don't put it onto forums. And if I was to go with Star Wars, I'd be wanting to do alternative history Star Wars. I want to be building lore. In Disney, Disney will not like that. Oh, they would not like that. In fact, I've known people, they've lost everything because Disney turned on them. I want to make something that's original, that's of my own creation, of which I actually have something. And you will see more of this. And that has to do, primarily, to begin with, Milo's Adventures. This is the first time where I'm actually going to try and do something that is original. Following that is going to be another story. One that I've been writing for a much, much, much longer time. But it's going to take a lot more time to finish. This story right here is, which I have not put any comments in for a reason, because I don't want to tip anyone off to what the story is about. This story is my biggest passion right now. I want very much for this one to succeed. But that means it has to be kept under wraps. I can't share that stuff right now across social media. I can do the occasional image as long as it doesn't tip people off to what the story is. When it's ready, then it will have to come out as a package. That doesn't do well for social media. Not until after it's out there. Then it's like, okay, now I can do all these things related to the story. But I have to have the story finished first. I have to have the first part of the 4-part series finalized before I can get to that part. I was writing on it today, and I got a lot of distance on it. And the first one is coming together. If I had an entire year that I just quit my work and worked on it, it'd be done after the first year. The one challenge is I would go bankrupt in that amount of time. I would be thrown out of my apartment. I would lose my internet, and I wouldn't be able to actually get it published. If I was to go down that path, I really would become a pauper overnight.
You serious?
Yes, I am serious. Want to know why? Because 2 years ago I tried that. Not a full year. 3 months. I went bankrupt in 3 months. 3. That's how bad our economy has gotten. I saved up money based upon what a friend of mine had done. It lasted him a year. It lasted me 3 months. So, when it comes about, I'll be happy. Until then, it's a dream. It is a dream. Maybe low viewership is because of the platform, but I guess it's all luck-based, algorithm and stuff. It is incredibly algorithm-based. Luck is very, very important, and you have to do something that's trendy. I have not done trendy things. If I was to play the algorithm, I could get big viewership, but I would lose the stuff that I'm trying to build. That's the one problem. And the times where I have played to the algorithm, it never worked, which is really frustrating. It's like other people, it works. It is luck-based, and you're right. I know somebody who went from nothing to a celebrity overnight. 15 million views in one weekend. They didn't realize how good they got it. 15 million from nothing. They didn't know what to do with it. So when that happened, they lost it all. Another guy was clamoring to do anything to actually get to a few thousand. He spent everything to do it, and it failed. Right now, the guaranteed way to do it is advertise, but that costs a lot of money. Whoa, that's a lot of money. You went the right route. You went to another platform. You went to Reddit. Now, Reddit would not really like the stuff that I do. It doesn't have a community that can be able to share to. Not readily. Maybe one day. But maybe I should give that a shot over this fall. See what it's like. I'll have to take your advice, though, to account. I tried 3 platforms, and the viewership varies a lot. Like over 1,000%, yeah. That's great photography. Oh, much appreciated. Yeah, the photography, actually, this was my first experience with failure. And this is actually an important life lesson here. This photography, which I did 40 images. 40 images. It cost me $1,000 to do. I went to try and sell my photos and didn't sell one. $1,000 for my own photos, which I now can decorate my home with. You know, if I had the ability to hang it on my walls. But I don't, because my apartment's rules. But it is kind of funny how that happened. I first tried Tumblr at first, and then got recommended to use Blue Sky 2. I got like 30 likes and 2 followers from both sites from that one post. Reddit alone got 5K views and 257 likes in a span of 2 days. It's all about platforms, I guess. Yep, indeed. Kind of interesting how that happens. You just need to know how to get to the target community that could appreciate and really like such art. Tags can really help. Yeah, I've tried it all. And what I've learned recently, well, what I learned when I got started is that the time of easy starts is over. You have to pay now. Everything is gatekept by money, except for some platforms like Reddit. But you have to know the right communities for that. I don't. I also don't have a whole lot of friends online that I can be able to share stuff with. There's some folks, they have hundreds to begin with. It's just going to be the case. Oh, wait a minute. Oh. Okay, I got this thing figured out now. But the main takeaway I wanted to kind of give for that is this. You can algorithm chase all day, every day. The people I know that chase it constantly are miserable. They hate it. They feel like nothing is working. And it's understandable why. Because in the end, the algorithm is very, very unfriendly. And so you can chase a lot, but the most important thing you should be chasing is improving your own skill. That's going to make you the most happy. Which is kind of interesting to think about, that there are so many people desperate for a viewership, and they're not finding it. One guy that I know who spent hundreds of dollars just to get seen. And when he finally did get seen, he made a total of like $50. He lost a lot of money. And he wasn't any happier. Oh, wait a minute. Prince of the Air. Oh, I just realized you were there. My apologies for not noticing. It's hard to stay in your muse when you've got the world beating at your door in a bad way. Our egos drive us in ways that are often not good. Indeed. Create an online catalog. Canvas World would print it on coded canvas. Oh. If you build it, they will come. I've kind of learned the opposite. You have to know what you're building for the right people, and then they will come. Because what happens is if you build it and they come, that means competition also shows up at your door. And then they realize that, hey, you got something we want, and then they take it away from you. It is, I hate the web for that sort of stuff. It is ridiculous, the nonsense that happens out there. How you doing, Prince of the Air? Meh. Understandable. Feels like that at times. For me, I've been fighting with allergies the last few days. And so, I'm hoping that changes here in a little bit here. We have snow coming down the mountains right now. Winter's not far away up here in Alaska. It could be by this time next week we'll actually have Winter Wonderland outside. We'll see. Kind of feel the same way. Rudderless and listless. Yeah, indeed. I share my digital art with like one friend. Well, you know, Jersey, that still worked out pretty well. Glad it's panning out. Okay, that did not turn out so well. Place material. Let me see here. Blender, geometry nodes. Material, feather. So a while back, there was someone who saw my artwork and got all excited, and he wanted to hire me. And what I didn't realize was that he was also trying to stop my progress. I learned that the hard way, that there are a lot of people, once you reach like a certain threshold, they want to cut you off at the knees. Now, I'm not saying everyone's going to do this, but it happened in such a way that I didn't expect it to happen. And it took me by surprise. It's important to be able to realize that online can be pretty cold. There was one guy where he was starting to make music, and he had a good following, and the person who he was partnering with suddenly didn't like what he was doing, and so he decided to bash him publicly, and then all his followers just abandoned him overnight. It was really kind of unfortunate to see, but at the same time, probably spared him a lot of pain in the long term. That's something to remember, is that not becoming successful online is, well, it's not bad to not find success, because you might be spared. You might be spared from something that could have destroyed you. I'm very wary about the online world. I didn't want to get involved with it, period. I was kind of forced into it. I've adapted to it, but I'm not comfortable in it. I'm always very, very skeptical of it, including things like, well, trying to deal with trying to get social media followings for artwork and whatnot. It's not guaranteed to make you happier. In many ways, it may make you more paranoid. In my case, I went through a spiritual awakening in 2008 that showed me a world of multiverse I had never dreamed of. I walked this world haunted by the experience. Indeed. There was there was a man that I got to study under for a while, and he got to tell me something very important, which is the world of art, animation, and whatnot is highly, highly, highly subjective. And if you chase followers constantly, it's going to surprise you when it eventually starts to taper off, and it will after about 2 to 3 years. Interestingly enough, the world of online tends to happen with that too. People around 2 to 3 years will either fade out or they will morph. I particularly have morphed. But the artwork has had times where it ebbs and flows. Now, I get the opportunity of where this is a hobby for me, but if I was chasing the algorithm, I would have 2 to 3 years to really make it big, or everything would fall apart. I don't have that pressure. So as a result, I can make stuff and I don't feel concerned about if anyone's going to like it or dislike it, because I don't want to find myself in that sort of position later on where I suddenly get disappointed. Went through ego death in the process. I realized that a lot of things that were driving me were not me. They were pieces of ego that I gave my own. That, there's truth in that. Ego is destructive, and sometimes you can catch it from other people in that sense. All right, where's this tool here? All right, see the gradients. I don't see how it's mapped. Aha. Okay, I think I see it now. So, what we're going to do instead is this. We're going to come over here. We're going to choose blue lightning. We're going to duplicate this, and we're going to call this lightning dual color. Come over to shader, add in the attribute. Wait, just a second. No, color. Color attribute. Select. Come over to color attribute. Add that. And now we'll just add it with color. Now, come over to Vertex Paint. Okay, is a problem. We want attributes. Texture, attribute. Okay, let's just disable this for a moment. And let's add in a skin modifier. Like a suit of armor they built. Yep. Some somatics are again, perhaps experiment. Yeah, indeed. You know, there was I remember there was a moment where sorry, just a second. The allergies I mentioned about earlier is getting to me. Stand by just a second. Okay, here we go. Frequencies. I've heard the thing about frequencies. I'm not so I don't really fall into the really thinking about those a whole lot. Now, what I will consider a lot is where we're leaning. And this actually comes back to a lot of the things I learned when I was working with streamers. Which way are you leaning? Are you leaning to the right or to the left? Towards good or towards bad? Towards honor or towards dishonor? There's a lot of areas where we are leaning in our life. And I find that if we are leaning even just a little bit, we will slowly start to migrate to one side or the other. And if we become lax, we will start to just lean at random. And many times we'll choose the wrong side. And there was one time when there was a guy that I saw. He was leaning spiritually in a very bad direction. He was looking for fame and fortune. And as a result, he started to lean one way and then the other, and then he started to lean into self-glorification. And over the span of many months, he went from being a very kind and open fella to suddenly being very, very cruel, very selfish, and very insulting. And someone remarked saying, "How did that happen?" And I just stood there and pondered. It's like, how did that transpire? And I realized he was leaning, choosing to do a little bit more to one side and then the other. So think of it like this. Let's say you're driving, you're riding on a bicycle, and you have a bunch of weights in a backpack, and you reach up and you take that weight and you put it on one of the handlebars. That doesn't impact you. You're going along, no problem. What happens when you put another weight on that, on your handle, and you're doing it on the same side? Well, nothing happens. And then you put another weight and another weight. Well, you start to find that you're going to want to start leaning one side over the other. You can course correct, no problem, but you're going to find yourself leaning in life. By the way, this is one of the very important reasons why we have to keep going back to scripture to be able to find truth, because many times the world will tell us to keep leaning into something and it causes problems. Well, the guy that I knew had kept putting weights onto his handlebar, and he started leaning more and more and more, till suddenly he ended up being a very bad man. He didn't start like that, but he was leaning, and he was adding weight every time he got the chance. Things were getting worse for him. He didn't change overnight. He changed over the process of months. I've seen this pan out many times at this point. It's actually really sad to see. It's one of the reasons, again, why I didn't try and lean into the algorithm, because I saw what happened to this guy when he was chasing it. Narcissistic, in a way, I think it's more just moral and ethics. I view the world in very much the way that we are in a spiritual journey. We are either walking towards the light or away from the light. In a way, leaning. Which direction are we going? The guy that was leaning, he had a moral framework. In the process of leaning, he started to surrender it. A little bit here, a little bit there. Pretty soon, he was willing to do all sorts of things. I've brought this guy up in the past. There was a boundary he put for himself. I will not cross this line. People on social media started egging him on. He's like, just come across it. Say this one word. And they finally taunted him to the point where he accepted and he just said the word, a naughty word. And they all laughed and made fun of him at that. It's like, oh, now you've said this terrible thing. Oh, I can't believe you said that. And they just joked about it. Didn't seem like a big problem, just a word. Well, then they wanted him to say it again, and then again. And over the process of those months, he leaned more and more into being edgy. And in the process, he lost a lot of the good that was in him. He sacrificed it because he wanted to be famous. We have a hole that we need to be filled, says Prince of the Air, but we don't know what we're looking for. We keep looking outside of ourselves, and the kingdom of heaven is within. 'Tis true. God of my inner standing. Yeah, fencers, indeed. So over time, he finally did change. I saw his downfall. To my knowledge, he's not recovered. I watched him crash. I watched him grieve. But he refused to change. How often do we do stuff like that? It is amazing to me how our lives, our whole lives, we can spend trying to do what's right, and then in the end, it all comes back to whether or not we're going to stay in the line. It's one of the reasons why we're supposed to stay in the Word and be able to keep reading, because eventually it will help to correct us. It's a living Word in that we find in the Scriptures. It helps to course correct us, especially when we start to lean in the wrong direction. It'll help us to start leaning in the correct direction, and we can find the chance to get our feet on stable ground once again. He did it for the laughs. Yeah, for the lulz. And, you know, there's a point where somebody, he went to a gathering. It was a meetup. And people now knew that they could push his buttons. Someone came up and did something very grotesque to him. And it made him squirm. And he was like, why did you do that? He got very upset. For a moment, the old self came out. And like, what's the big deal? You find this stuff funny. That was his border. That was his line, though. He got scared. He backed up. Well, you know what? Over the years, because it's been a couple years since then, he started going back to that. And now he's been pushed over that line. It's a real shame, honestly. I feel sorry for him. Is the company connected to a medical field in any way? Nope. It does resemble that. It's actually an entertainment group. And so they want it to be kind of like radio waves, but then they chose something that does kind of look like a heartbeat thing. So yeah, it does kind of have that look and feel. How do I color this without... I'm realizing this is probably not going to work here. I want to select these, come over here, and then we want to fill with that. I don't know how to do this. Maybe I can just use this attribute. Maybe there's another one. Attribute. I don't want color. I just want basic. Weight map here. Let's come back over here. I want geometry color. Now. Nope. That is not it. I don't really believe much about what was said on the other side. Wasn't sold on any particular belief, but there is a creator. That much I am certain of. So when it happened to me, it totally caught me off guard. What are you doing? I'm trying to make an animation. It's also going to serve as a logo for somebody, and I'm trying to turn this around here and have a color transformation between the 2 points here. But that part is not working. I'm not really sure why. Not really sure why. Oh, wait a minute. That's probably going to work. All right, we're going to instead connect object. We're going to add in an empty sphere. Now we're going to add in object info. Nope, not that one. It's actually texture. Empty. lightning. Back up here. Select this. Duel. Oh, it actually did work. Okay. Color ramp. Okay, that's good. Huzzah! That was a lot easier than I thought that was going to be. Wow. Okay. Livewire. Much better. One thing I definitely can say, though, from the guy that I observed, there was a point when he just snapped. And it was when someone came up and tried to do something very inappropriate to him. And he was like, I don't want this. And he wanted to pull back. At that point, it was a little too late for him. He had already doubled down so much that people knew that they could kind of make him do whatever they wanted. It's something to be a warning to all of us, is that how very easy it is for us to go through life and to find ourselves in peer pressure that gets worse and worse with time. It seems like it's not going to be a problem to begin with, and then over time it finally does get to us. And it's a reminder just to always be on guard. Always be on guard. Test the spirit that is around us. Don't test it to try and mock it. Test it so you can be able to find whether or not it's true or not. And sometimes that spirit is within us in terms of just our own pride, and being able to test that and say, is this good or is this bad? Because you never know. It may come about later on that you realize, dang, I messed up horribly. But how do you know if you don't have the chance to be able to... Okay, what just happened there? Okay, something just glitched. I'm going to close out of the program and come back into it because something is odd about that. But anyway, he compromised so much that eventually... Okay, yeah, that is... It did mess up again. Lightning animation, plug that back in. There we go. He compromised a lot and never stopped to ask himself, am I doing this for the right reasons? Being able to test whether or not you're doing things based upon truth it's sobering, it's humbling. And people online many times don't want to do that. It's one of the reasons why you have to keep going back to the source of truth. We don't often learn to love ourselves enough and see our own value, and we allow ourselves to become cheapened. There appears to be no enlightenment without sufferance. You know, there is a lot of truth in that. Life is not meant to be easy. And I dare say, the more I've seen of it, the more I'm like, you know, it's designed to be tough. Oh, that's the problem with it. Okay. So this is just coming in with a scale. What if we come in with the select? Nope. So if we just plug that in, then just divide by 2. A man who suffers can get up over and over again if he has the right spirit within him. If he doesn't, to fall down can crush him. I definitely have seen that pan out in my own life, let alone others as well. For whatever reason. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's right. I have that based on motion, not taper. That's the problem. Okay. Okay, so plug that into there. And we're going to change that into, what is this one right here? Just a float value. It's not actually the case. How do I make this selectable? Let's add this into another one. Nope. How about add it into here? Aha. There we go. That's gonna work. Nope. Not yet. There we go. Okay. Select this. Change this to taper. That comes from value. Now plug the value in. Why is it changing it? Karma, free will, cause and effect are in effect. So we get what we put into it. Good seed or bad seed. Cosmos gives back. Yeah. You know, there's that's definitely one approach that I've heard. For me, I've definitely find myself leaning more and more on scripture. I've seen it pan out in my life a lot more as I've gotten older. It is amazing, honestly, to me. Just each year, it seems like I just get even more and more convinced. It's kind of interesting how that all has panned out. Why is that changing? Let's open this up. There was a moment where I was learning the hard way of trying to lean on myself. And I learned very much that the more I tried to labor, the more frustrating things would become. The more I humbled myself, the more that I focused on trying to understand what God wanted for me, I found things getting a lot easier. there's a lot of beliefs in this world. And I gotta say, I have seen enough to convince me about the importance of being able to find the right path. A lot of people are on different places in that journey. I actually wrote a story about this just recently, and I posted it online. It's called Pharaoh the Smith. And it's kind of the journey of the soul. And it's based upon a little bit of my own experiences, as well as the experiences of some mentors that I've had. It was a very long, hard story to write. Sometimes I would only get a sentence or two a day. It's a 40-minute read. But in the process, I realized how very important it is to be able to look at the world and be able to find the Creator, to be able to find right and wrong, good and evil, to test it, to be able to find out what is truly good or bad. When I was at college, there's a lot of people, they were chasing after all the wants and desires of the world. And for them, it was very difficult to try and find a place to lean on God during those times. A lot of those stories were things that inspired me for the writing of that. Now, it's on the website right now, but I need to figure out the presentation of it because it's a little glitched, which actually, let me use that as a little bit of a segue into showing this, because I'm going to be sharing this in the very near future. Okay. Come on here. Castercraft. All right, here we go. So, you can find it right here, Pharaoh the Smith. You can be able to read it right here. And a more refined version of this book will be presented online here. But this is a very meaningful story to me because I've lived it. I've watched people live it. And I continue to meet people that are in the process of living this journey. So it's a fairly simple sort of layout. It's, forgive the very poor kind of structure to the pages, but this is something where folks that want to be able to read the story will get the chance to come learn about this story and hopefully find something to take away about the journey of refinement through pain, through struggle, and about how to try and find truth in it. Man, this is very poorly laid out. I didn't realize how bad layout it is for a 4K screen. Boy, I really need to fix this. I might get rid of the book feature and just put it up as a basic text block and then bring the pages back later on. The pages were a request from someone a while back. I don't think it's going to be worth it to try and keep the pages for right now. So I'll disable that and just put up the text block so it's easier for people to read. Anyway, looks great. Well, it will look better when the layout is actually working. The page is supposed to look like a standard book page, and it didn't look like that. The programming on one computer ends up looking different than on other computers, and it definitely looks different than on a phone. But yeah, hopefully people get a chance to read it. Oh, starting this weekend, because the presentation, again, is not very good. You can read through it. It just takes a while. So, like, for example, right here, Pharaoh had heard the call of this forsaken metal before, but now that he could see him, Pharaoh realized that this metal was an unfinished work that had chosen to abandon the smith just as he had done. You can read it. It's not very professional looking. So you can still read it. It's going to be free on this website, just so people can learn the story. And then I'll try and figure out something else to do with the story in the future. But anyway, it was a first attempt, and I am going to be doing something with it in the future, but it is there for people that want to see what's on my mind. I write my prayers as love letters to the God of my inner standing. Has a missed feeling to it. Where do I find it? So, you can find this story right here. So I'm going to post this on the different platforms. Again, it's about a 40-minute read, or at least if you're as slow of a reader as I am. And then we'll get the more refined version this Saturday. But anyway, I had fun making it, and I want to try and do it as an audiobook here within the next few weeks. I've already done a template of it, a sample of it, but I need to do like a very legitimate recording of it, because I think that it will be just as impactful in that form, and people are probably going to be more interested in listening to that, because not many people visit the website. This gives people a chance to read it if they want, and then there will be the audio version that can be shared on social media. We'll see. I want to figure out some music for it, though. I don't have very good music options right now, and I will be sure to. I have a musician friend of mine that I need to reach out to and ask him if he wants to do this, because I think that he could do pretty well at it. He's done ambience stuff before, and it kind of is an ambience sort of feel that I want for it. All right, so let's try and figure out this last part of this Livewire logo here. I have to try and do the transition of the colors, and for whatever reason, my system was working earlier, and then it turned out that it wasn't. All right, so we have the colors corrected, but now we need to get this thing right here. I still have like 8 cassette tapes that I recorded my experiences. Still have to decode and transcribe from 2008. Cassette tapes. I remember when I used to make my own cassette tapes. It was usually do ridiculous sort of radio program sort of concepts, but it worked. I miss cassette tapes. I was wondering if I should do a bit more, lean a bit more into serious themed art. Splatoon is a silly game, no doubt, but it actually has some surprisingly dark lore. Technically, it's a post-apocalyptic game. When I scroll through social media, I noticed there's a big deficit of more serious and dark Splatoon themes. Maybe that's why the rainy theme art blew up so quickly. Possibly. Perhaps I should tap more into the mature part of the fan base. Be very, very careful. Remember when I mentioned about some of the other stuff that some people can reach out to you and ask for? There's a dark side. Dark media is very easy to make. Very, very easy to make. If you want something that really feels meaningful and impactful, do something that has a lesson to it. Something that has a moral behind it. Everybody can make dark stuff. It's very easy. In fact, I had a professor. everyone was mocking him because they're like, oh, dark stuff is so hard to make. You have to do like all this very complex stuff. And the professor looked at the students and suddenly he went, bah! He screamed at them and they all jumped in. They're like, oh, what are you doing? You almost gave me a heart attack. And he said, look how easy it was to scare you. Look how easy it was to go into dark stuff. And people laughed at it, but the point was taken. It's really easy to get people scared. It's really hard to get people to feel attachment and love and care. It may seem like it's super easy, but to get really good stuff, it takes effort. There's a reason why there's a deficit for Splatoon. Don't point people to the shadow. Try and point people to light. Show them the shadow, but don't dwell on it. That's my takeaway. What some might find disturbing is that presence appear to me, humanoid form, dancing dragon. Ugh. That is indeed disturbing. Yeah. You know, I remember hearing a story about how the devil loves to mask himself as an angel of light. When I say point people to light, my main point is to point people towards truth. Point people towards hope. Because it is very true that there's some ways that we can unintentionally try and make something that points towards light, but we actually end up pointing towards the darkness as well. So now that's a deeply concerning thing there, Prince. I'm aware of that sort of stuff. Well, I'm aware of the impact of people that claim to be in that area. Seeking truth takes a lot of effort throughout our lives. And sometimes it takes us an entire lifetime to find, like my grandfather. Others, it happens way earlier, like myself. But dwelling on darkness many times can make things more difficult, make things more challenging to try and recover. But when it comes to art, many times our artwork can reach people in different stages of their life's journey. And sometimes it can be overwhelming and sometimes push them down paths that we don't intend to. Tracy says, it's kind of hard to scare people with Splatoon art, but I can try to make it haunting. Splatoon social media is oversaturated with silly and funny content. What about meaningful content? Now that's the real catch. I can still mix it with the silly art, as all of my art I did before was leaning more into funny stuff. Until we realize that God's will must be better. It is true. It is true. So wholesome and silly that it might be tiring for some people. Yes, but also remember that sometimes the people that want it, many times wanted for some pretty odd reasons, and many times for very depressing reasons. The reason why I want to be a warning against that, I've recently started becoming aware of the level of depression that our culture is experiencing. It's sobering. And it's sobering because there are people out there who are actually in very bad places. A lot of them that are kind of cut off from everyone else. They view dark stuff as like an embodiment of their pain. Kind of like I have a pain in my neck right now. Depression is rising drastically across the world. I saw a stat that said that between 15 and 20% of folks nowadays are considering ending themselves. 15 to 20%. That's huge. Now, of the ones that actually do that is, not much smaller than that. But it's sobering to realize. What if the darkness is something that people want because it's embodying something that is hurting them? There was a person that I talked about on this channel a couple of months back. We used to raid their channel until I realized what they were making. This person was making a comic book. At first it was like, oh, they're making a comic book. Oh, it's lighthearted, it's fun. And then, oh, it's got dark tones. Okay, well, you can have a comic book like that. No, it was not about that. It was about themselves. It was a story about a person who ended themselves and had an entire adventure in misery and pain. An entire book series based upon this concept. This person that was making it was highly depressed and hurting, and they had thousands upon thousands of subscribers. When we went in there, the most that person had was hundreds of people watching the stream at any particular time. And then I started noticing all the people that were there were hurting, and they were stuck in a spiral of darkness that just took them down further and further and further. It started out as artwork, lighthearted. Oh, it was just some dark elements, but then it got darker and darker and darker until suddenly it was almost like they were embodying in their artwork a story of their own demise. And that's when I thought, no, this has crossed a line. That's what concerns me about it. That's why I don't say do not go into that sort of stuff, because you will start to find people like that. People that start to look at your artwork and they're actually hurting on the inside, and they're like, oh yes, something that I can kind of help me focus my pain. But the problem is that when you focus your pain, you actually start to almost like cherish it, and slowly it starts to consume you to the point where it starts to snuff out any sort of hope that you have, and then depression hits really, really hard. This is one of my big focuses for why I wanted to go into media, art, animation, and so forth. Because I wanted to help people that were stuck in this cycle. I've met many people in that position. It's one of the big driving forces for why I do the sort of artwork that I do. I want to point people towards light, towards hope, towards forgiveness, towards salvation. I just ask, don't push people towards depression. That's the one thing I ask. If you share the stuff that's depressing, try and show it where it ends in hope, where it ends with restoration. If you can do that, you might actually help some of the people that are hurting the most. Because people that are going to Splatoon sort of darkness, there's probably something else that's going on too. And you probably won't know that until it's far too late. I remember the online comic called Jack. They identified and became that character. So it wasn't Jack. It was actually a different one. It was a brand new one. I don't know the name. But it was like I don't remember the name, but it was like 4-5 words strung together. It was like Death in the Shadows or something like that. It was sad. Oh, it was so sad. I'm shocked that they I was shocked with how that story stuff turned out. Okay, what is going on here? Effect. Oh, wait a minute. Combine X, Y. Oh, that's it. Separate X, Y, Z. You don't know the power of the dark side. I don't know the power of the dark side. Yes, exactly. The power of the dark side.
I'm too weak. Don't kill me, please.
The power. Classic film. I was told by a friend who was a Pulitzer Award-winning investigator journalist who told me I should write a book about my experiences, but I told her I still wasn't sure, so I didn't know what my morals should be. Understandable. Understandable. So I don't know what's going on with this. It's going to a scale. But if... oh, wait a minute. Float? Some type distance. Factor? None? Subtype none. All right. See, where's this feature? Blender geometry nodes. What is this feature? Input attribute toggle not showing. Carl Sagan may have gone through a spiritual awakening. but couldn't tell anyone unless he loses his standing in the scientific community, so he wrote it in a sci-fi novel called Contact. Possibly. Contact, and it's like that. Interesting. I do not know about that story. Alright, that form did not help. Watch the movie. Contact the movie, 1997. American sci-fi drama. Huh. Interesting, I've never heard of that. Then again, I'm not, well, correction, I'm not surprised. I don't know a lot of movies in this world. I didn't grow up on sci-fi. I grew up on history. It's kind of interesting, actually, when you think about it. I got out of, when I got to college, everyone had all these references that they were citing that I didn't know the first thing about. I'm still trying to get caught up on that stuff. Okay, it is 1:40. I need to wrap things up here. I need to figure this part out tomorrow, because I've obviously been spinning my wheels trying to figure out what this next step should be. So we're gonna have to call it right there. But we'll be back tomorrow to get this thing finalized. We're going to do a couple iterations. This is the last major thing that needs to be done for this logo to really be working. Hopefully it oh great, now it's glitching. Oh well, we'll get this stuff figured out later on. What the heck? Okay, actually there's something bigger that's going on. So I just busted everything. So I'm going to go back, undo, and I will address this, there we go, later. But we're going to wrap it up right there. If you want to read Fair on the Smith, it is currently live, but we got a better version of it that will be coming out on Saturday, and then an audio version of that will be coming out sometime later on this fall. But have a very pleasant evening and morning, everybody. Regardless of where you fall in the world of art, be civil to one another. And try and share that civility through your art. And we will see you all next time. Until next time, folks, have a very pleasant evening.